Could Mars have been like Earth before it became the dry, dusty desert planet we know today? Could there still be vast lakes or even oceans of liquid water hidden beneath its surface? And if so, what would it be like if it were to suddenly appear on Mars again? What would happen to the red planet's atmosphere? Would it suddenly become habitable? If we could somehow bring about this change, should we? Let's dive into these questions and more in this episode of SCI Show Space. We generally think of Mars as a dry, barren planet covered in a thin atmosphere and littered with dusty red deserts. But billions of years ago, it may have looked much more like Earth, complete with flowing rivers, lakes, and even oceans of liquid water. That is because Mars may have once had a much thicker atmosphere that kept its surface warm enough for water to exist in liquid form. Today, though, Mars has an atmosphere about 100 times thinner than Earth's. This means that liquid water can't exist on the planet's surface under normal conditions. The atmospheric pressure needed to keep water a liquid at the surface is about 600 pascals. But Mars only has an average surface pressure of about 6 pascals. At those low pressures, water boils at a temperature of -84 degrees Celsius. So any exposed water on Mars quickly evaporates or freezes. However, scientists think that early Mars may have had a much thicker atmosphere with higher atmospheric pressure and a warmer climate. In fact, researchers from the University of Cambridge used computer models to determine that Mars may have once had an ocean that was 200 meters deep. Unfortunately, they also concluded that this ocean likely evaporated around 3 billion years ago when the planet's core cooled, causing the magnetic field to disappear and the atmosphere to dissipate into space. However, other research suggests that there could still be liquid water existing in pockets beneath the surface, either in underground lakes or aquifers. For example, radar data collected by the Mars Advanced Radar for Subsurface and Ionosphere Sounding, or MARSIS, has hinted at the existence of a massive underground salty water lake near the planet's North Pole. If these lakes do exist, they would contain between 20 and 60 gigaliters of liquid water. And because of their depth, they wouldn't freeze. Well, that sounds pretty great. Don't start packing your bags just yet. It's not exactly easy to get to these lakes. They are located 5 kilometers below the surface. So drilling through all that ice would take a long time and lots of energy. And while salty water isn't exactly hospitable to humans as is, it's possible that we could make it more livable by extracting some of the salts. After all, salt water on Earth is used for a number of industrial processes. But what if we could bring liquid water to the surface of Mars? How would it change the planet? To answer that question, researchers from McGill University in Montreal created a series of computer models to simulate how water might affect Mars' atmosphere. They found that melting the polar ice caps and adding the resulting liquid water to the atmosphere would increase the surface pressure by less than 1 pascal. That's nowhere near enough to bring Mars back to Earth-like conditions. The researchers also found that if water vapor from the ice caps made its way into the atmosphere, it would cause global warming. But even in that scenario, temperatures would only rise by a few degrees. Although the team's model didn't include a lot of details such as wind patterns, snow, and other factors, the results do indicate that bringing liquid water to the surface of Mars wouldn't significantly improve habitability. There would still be too much UV radiation and not enough gravity. So why does water on Mars only ever exist in solid or gaseous form today? It comes down to a couple of key differences between Earth and Mars. First, Mars is smaller than Earth, which means its gravity is weaker. As a result, the molecules that make up its atmosphere have a higher average speed and escape velocity. Over time, this has caused lighter gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide to gradually escape from Mars's grasp, leaving behind heavier gases like nitrogen and argon. That's why Mars's atmosphere is mostly made up of carbon dioxide. Second, Mars is farther away from the Sun than Earth is. It receives about 43% less solar radiation. As a result, the average surface temperature on Mars is about minus 63 degrees Celsius compared to Earth's average of 14 degrees Celsius. With so much CO2 in the atmosphere and so little heat, it's no wonder that Mars is a frozen planet. Now, as far as we know, there's no way to warm up Mars without nuking it. And we definitely don't want to do that because nuclear fallout would make any water we introduce to the planet immediately unsafe to drink. Luckily, there is another way to thicken the atmosphere and bring liquid water to the surface without blowing up an entire planet. Astronomers have discovered thousands of exoplanets that orbit very close to their stars, including a rocky planet called WASP-33b that orbits a star similar to our Sun about 500 light-years away. This planet is tightly locked to its star, meaning that one side of the planet always faces the star and the other side is plunged into darkness. Scientists estimate that WASP-33b has a thick atmosphere with high atmospheric pressure, but the details remain a mystery. Future telescopes like NASA's James Webb Space Telescope may be able to analyze the planet's atmosphere and search for telltale signs of life. Maybe one day soon we'll learn whether WASP-33b has rivers, lakes, and oceans of liquid water on its surface. And maybe one day we'll find out how to bring that technology to Mars. While some people dream of terraforming the red planet to make it more like Earth, others worrying about contaminating it with human life. And there are ethical questions to consider as well. Would we have the right to change another planet even if we could? What would we do with all the water that's currently trapped in its polar ice caps? Should we try to preserve Mars as a pristine example of an untouched world? Whether or not we decide to terraform Mars, scientists will continue exploring the planet in the hopes of learning more about its history, including whether it ever had life on it. We already know that it was once warm and wet, which means it may have been habitable. And in 2019, researchers reported evidence of what could be fossilized microorganisms preserved in Martian rocks brought to Earth by meteorites. While none of these discoveries have confirmed that life ever existed on Mars, they do give us hope that one day we may find fossils of ancient bacteria or other microbes that could provide insight into the origins of life in the universe. And there's a good chance that we'll find these fossils sooner rather than later. NASA's Perseverance rover touched down on Mars in February 2021 and is searching for signs of ancient life. It explores the 45-kilometer wide Jezero crater, which was once home to an ancient lake. Meanwhile, the Chinese rover Zhurong landed on Mars in May 2021 and is exploring a mysterious area known as the Utopia Planitia. Both rovers are expected to continue exploring Mars for at least 1 year, searching for clues about the planet's history and the possibility of life there. And while we wait for these rovers to return their findings, we can visit Mars virtually through a series of stunning photographs taken by satellites orbiting the red planet. NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has been mapping the planet's surface since 2006 and capturing incredible images of its diverse landscapes. The High-Resolution Imaging Science Experiment, or HIRISE camera, takes pictures with a resolution of 0.7 meters per pixel, which means that it can capture amazing views of geological features like craters, canyons, mountains, and valleys. The camera has captured everything from towering volcanoes to delicate spider-shaped ice formations that emerged during the Martian winter. NASA has released hundreds of these incredible images to the public, giving us a window into the beauty and diversity of the Martian landscape. You can browse them all on NASA's website or check out a gallery of our favorites linked below. Thanks for watching this episode of SCI Show Space. If you would like to help support the channel, we have a platform where we share additional content and early access to videos. You can also support us by liking and sharing this video, and all of your feedback is greatly appreciated. We've been exploring the possibility of liquid water on Mars, and you can explore more from this channel through our videos and playlist. Thanks for watching.